We're live.
You are live. We are live. I know it always takes a little while for everyone else to catch up to the lives. But we're so excited today. When I told Sue-Ann when we were doing our list of people that we wanted to have on our culture chats, she was in the top 3. She was in the top 3. She made it. She would have got at least a bronze medal. So we're super excited to have you here today with us, sister. And you all tuning in for another culture chat, whether you're watching this live or you're going to check it out later on over a cuppa or whatever you're doing. Really, always a pleasure to have you all here with us, sharing some space and time. Before I actually hand over to Sue-Ann to do acknowledgement, I do want to make sure that we acknowledge, the space that we're in, and we're so lucky to have one of our local First Nations Aboriginal leaders here. Hey Stacey, how are you? Lovely to see you. First comment was Stacey. She won the race there. But I wanted to acknowledge the space and then hand over to you, Sue-Ann, to do our acknowledgement for country before we kick off.
Yeah, so I'd like to acknowledge wherever you're coming from on this great sacred land, acknowledge your ancestors, your elders, your culture, and may Bunjil watch over us as we talk cultural business today.
Lovely. I wish we could record you, or I was talking to AJ. He's got a recording of Auntie Di that he plays. Like it's anyway. Thank you so much. It's lovely to have it come from you, and set the tone for our space today, and acknowledging that wherever our feet are, your feet are, we're in this big world together, and I think that's a nice way to feel like we're all connected in a time that we're quite disconnected, especially here in Melbourne. Anyway, I told Sue-Ann I wasn't going to blab on too much, and so
but he's gonna.
There. I started already, but we have been so lucky and honoured to know this beautiful, powerful, fierce woman here for a couple of years. I think we actually met at a forum down in Docklands that was hosted, run by a lovely common denominator for many friend, Jeremy Nikora.
We love him.
Yeah, we do. So he brings people together. So shout out to you, my brother. And yeah, it was this amazing little forum of First Nations Aboriginal young people and community, Pacifica young people and South Sudanese. It was just powerful. Anyway, we met there, and that's been a fantastic journey. And you've always been so generous with your time and energy. So we are so lucky to have come to here today. So without further ado, and with me not talking too much, I'm going to hand over to the wonderful Sue-Ann Hunter, and we've got a bit of a new flow that Sue-Ann's going to be our first kickoff in this formula. So I'm going to start off just with, especially at this time in Melbourne, some of you that are from outside of Melbourne or outside of Australia, we're in pretty full-on lockdown here. But what's what are you watching? What are you reading? What are you listening to? Like, what's got your brain going at the moment?
Lots of Zoom. I'm watching lots of Zoom. Oh my goodness, it's fantastic. But I'm doing lots of stuff around the country, so I feel like I'm getting out. I'm getting into other states via Zoom, and they all think I'm a bit crazy because I'm like, I haven't seen people. Tell me about life. So that's a bit of fun. So I was in NT this morning, which is always good. Work is really, really busy. I'm not sure what that is at the moment, but it's really busy, and a lot of, particularly, I guess I wear a few hats. So I'm doing lots of reading around well-being and things like that, just to help my business and help others. But in saying that, I always have about 5 books on the go, because that's where we went back to. And I just have a big log of books beside the bed that I never get to. But these are the ones I've just bought, and I had them on my desk, so it's perfect. So Talking Up to the White Woman, which I haven't read yet, that's by Aileen Morton Robinson. Awesome. And that comes highly recommended, so I'm dying to get to that one. The other one, which probably isn't great for isolation and being stuck down and good for mental health, but I was talking to a friend I know, and he's read this. It's called Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome. So America's Legacy of Enduring Injury and Healing by Dr. Djirri Djirri. But I had to wait. That was on backlog. And so I really wanted to understand what that was, like that syndrome, and really have a look and see what for that applies or applies to our people, particularly in the syndrome, but then think about healing ways. So I know it's not really enjoyable reading, but that's what I love reading. Yeah, and then the other one that I always head back to, because I can't read it all at once, is it's an old one of mine. So it's Dr. Michael Yellowbird, and it's a decolonisation handbook. And what I find is there's parts of that that really challenge me, so I have to sit with it and put it down, and then sit with how colonised I am as an Aboriginal woman, and then how do I unpack that? So they're and it's a really good time because I'm finding I've got space to really think about those topics and how we apply those with it to our mob, I guess, and what that looks like.
Yeah, wow.
So it's light reading.
Yeah, light reading. So just if you wanted some tips there, watch Zoom a lot. So try and watch Zoom as much as you can during the week, and then those amazing books, I'll post those up in the comments later on. They look they look fantastic. It's interesting. So we've decided to do our first. The Mahana team's decided to do our first Mahana book club. So we ordered Tyson Yunkaporta's Sand Talk book for the team. So they're on their way from an amazing Aboriginal business up in New South Wales. Actually, she's I wish I could remember the name, but she's sent those down for us. So yeah, we're really looking forward to unpacking some of that. And you're right, we decided it was a good, like, it seems like a good space to be, kind of pausing and soaking in some more stuff. So awesome. One of yours is jamming away as always with lots of readings and Zooms and stuff. The next, I'm really looking forward to hearing this, but I wanted to have you unpack for us what your definition of culture is. Because we're in front of all kinds of the rainbow of people, and everyone has quite a different definition, and it comes with a real connotation for some people in terms of what it is, and why I've come to a cultural training or space, etc. So anyway, really keen to hear your thoughts. Like, what is
no, don't talk it up. Like, don't talk me up. Like, it's just really simple.
I don't have to do that. You got bunch earrings on and everything. You're ready to rock.
I know, rocking them. Oh, look, if you look from there down, it's terrible. So from there up, I have to rock something, and it's the earrings daily that make me feel
I have no
good.
shoes on. So it's all good.
Yeah, I think you had your dressing gown on the other morning when I spoke to you. But anyway, we won't go there.
No, let's not go there.
Culture to me, and as First Nations people, you get asked this a lot, right?
Yeah.
And so sometimes I'll ask it back to non-Aboriginal, well, what is it to you? Well, I don't have one, but everybody has one, right? And so for me, it embodies everything that I am. It's my identity. It's my family, it's my country, it's all those cultural practices that come with it. It's, my language, it's my Djiris, it's my cousins, it's my family, it's everything. It's not just one thing. It's like this sort of bubble that you're in, that when you get with other people, your bubbles join, and it's just this big cultural element that just surrounds you and comes with you. It's just who you are. Like, it's so hard to define it to one thing.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
It really does. I love that. And often we talk about it being for those who haven't really had a chance to unpack and explore, because that's a lifelong journey or generations long journey. It can be invisible. Water, often see the water that we're swimming in and understand that that's cultural. So I love that. It's an embodiment.
But it is invisible. It's just you. It just comes with you. It's like, it's a bit like your shadow. It's just everywhere with you. And sometimes you see it and sometimes you don't. But it just makes up your being of who you are.
Love it. Yeah, love it. I've got that recorded. If you ever want it back, I can write it up for you and stuff. Just
I'll be like, what did I say?
That's the beauty of this. We can look back and edit ourselves. So, thank you. I love that. I love the definition. It'd be really interesting to hear what some of you who are watching. We've got a worldwide 13 viewers who have joined us today. What your definition of culture is as well. So anyway, thank you, Sue-Ann. I love that embodiment of everything we are, all those strands, different strands of us. So as to talk to some of that of what makes up you, would love to hear some of your cultural tale, like as far back or as as little back as you want to go, like who's Sue-Ann and why Sue-Ann? Hunter.
Big question.
That's what we get. That's what you get in Mahana Club. Only the big questions.
Okay, who am I? Well, I guess it starts back as far as, as our ancestors go, and some of that we can't even trace. So without them, there would be elements that I would not be today. So one, I always honour Annie Barat, who we all descend from as Wurundjeri people, particularly women. And and it's not being sexist, but just following the strong women before me, that are around me and that give me strength. That includes not just like our ancestors, but also includes like the Djirris, like you, Stacey, I know you're watching, and Mandy, and, even my daughter, Auntie Di, all of those people have added to our being able to be here today and be who we are. My nan was the last woman born on Corandurk mission, and then they left and went and hid from authorities, but then they later come back, and that's when she found out she was Aboriginal. And I think that gave her a bit more of a drive to make sure that her son, which is my dad, knew that they were. But then, that pattern follows, that they were to say, no, you're not Aboriginal, like at times, like with police or, certain, just the times they were living in, easily be removed, which then I think changed a bit because my dad was real solid in making sure that we stood up and said who we were. Which changed with this generation, and then of course that'll change with my daughter, and which then also, and I guess the beauty of, and I'll refer back to the Djirris as well, because that's family, is that we've all branched off into different areas of sort of, I don't like saying expertise, but areas of different understanding and knowledge. So like Stacey's in the arts, and Mandy's everywhere. We just can't even encapsulate that, And I've taken a bit of a different route in, social work and combining, some Western theories with cultural knowledge, but also I've gotten more into the space of why culture is protective. So being able to bring that back. So being in the child and family welfare field, particularly the Aboriginal child and family welfare field, for 20 years. I started when I was 2. See, so I'm not that old anyway.
I'm sorry you didn't get the 21st last year. You missed out. It was the 21st of the decade apparently. So
okay. So just being in different spaces and doing different things is, one of the things I'm passionate about is really supporting our mob, working with frontline staff now. So really that, that supervision or that well-being aspect, or just sitting there and listening, particularly now if people are out during COVID, and I've had the opportunity to do some of that, passing on my knowledge of what I've learned and what is helpful and what isn't. So, it's funny how we all, and learning off, all my family, particularly the Djirris, some of their stuff, and entwining that into what I do in work-wise is good. Yeah.
Awesome. It's a powerful journey. You know, I'm sure that's just scratching the surface stuff. But thank you for sharing. I guess it's a really nice segue into the kind of last little piece we wanted to chat about. I know you've talked about the beautiful Djirris through our conversation here, but yeah, we'd just love to hear. Like, why were you in NT? Like, why are you off to Sydney after this? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing in the space? And, you know, I'd love to hear about the Djirris as well. If you can spend a bit of time on that group also, that mob. Also.
Yeah. So I'll start with, I'm just involved in too much, I've decided, but I can't let stuff go. But I'll get there. So we hadn't done much. We did a Zoom dance that seemed to work. Really dysfunctionally worked. I don't know how, but it looked really good. We've also done a few things online, but not a lot. And I also think it's a good time to just be still for a while, because the Djirris are really busy. Like it can take over. You know, if you didn't have a job, that could be your full-time job, just being a Djirri, which would be great. But we're meeting tonight, all the Djirris, on a Zoom. So that's always a fun thing, with also all talking over each other and at once. But we've got a few, you know, ideas around different things we want to do or we can do. You know, one is that we don't have a Djirri possum skin cloak, so how can we make one for us? You know, we're talking about maybe some new songs or dances. Mandy's offered to do some language classes with us. Stace wants us to help with some reed necklaces. So there's heaps where we've got. It's just not as public as we usually are, I guess. But I miss them. I miss them terribly. But yeah, it's good, and the kids are all growing up too quickly when you see them on Zoom.
I know. It's been really interesting, because I mean, only in the last 2 years, you know, and I think I first saw Mandy and the girls down at a event in Frankston that Jeremy was hosting. But you know, like, just watching their evolution and growth has been amazing. So for people who don't know, like, what would you describe the Djirri Djirris as? Like, what do you?
So most people would say Djirri Djirris are a dance group that sing in language, right, in wurrung, and they're the only ones in that. But it's more than that. We're family, so we're all related, and we all descend from one woman. We don't just dance. That's probably what people see. We, you know, we support each other in a lot of ways. A lot of ways. We're pretty close. We do ceremony, so women's ceremony, help nurture each other, I guess, and bring each other up and stay connected. It's really hard to explain because it just is.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
And, you know, I always say to people, I know how, I guess the word is blessed I am to be able to have and be so close and practice, right? Practice my culture on country with my family. How many people actually get to do that on a regular basis? There you go. We educate. We're storytellers. Stacey's throwing it all out there.
Nice. That's right.
Yeah, it's just so much that I think if we sat back and wrote a list, it'd be pages and pages long, because I think we underestimate what we do and what we do for each other and what we do for community. But it's absolutely beautiful. So go over to the Djirri Djirri Facebook page and just add yourself, and you'll see us in action. I never thought I'd be a dancer. Hello.
Go, girl.
Yeah. I was like, what? Where did this come from? So
and we it's just been it's such a beautiful energy to be near and you know, extended family related to, I guess. And one of the real highlights for myself and some of my close connections and my son, I took my then 5-year-old son out to that out to the women's ceremony in Corndurk in Healesville last year. Mandy and yourself through Jeremy were invited, and it was just you know, it was one of the most profound experiences that we still talk about, and it was being on your country and witnessing ceremony, like you know, and maintenance of culture, and you know, just and through being a witness to that, it was really fulfilling for all of us. You know, not that was the purpose, but it was it was a beautiful sharing. So, you know, such a generous mob as well. You know, I love that storytellers and educators that Stacey had said. It's a beautiful presence again. So please check them out, have a look over, and they've got a wonderful website as well. So
we're very deadly we are. Just
yes, you are. Yes, you are. And maybe quickly, just before we head off, and you head off to Sydney, what's in terms of some of the like more policy based or wider pieces of work you're doing, like, you know, the NT and New South Wales stuff. What's some of the work you're doing in that space, in the snake space?
So the snake space is really, we've got in the process of doing with South Australia trauma training, particularly for South Australia, and it's great. So there's some really good people involved in that. So I'm overseeing that, and it's probably going to be one of the better trainings because we've got some amazing leaders in that space helping write it. Then the other one is there's the National Child Safe Principles. There's 10. So I'm leading that project in we're going to create a resource nationally how that child safe can be implemented into organisations.
Yep.
So that's the sort of bigger one. And there's lots of, you know, other stuff. So Family Matters, where we advocate for the rights of Aboriginal children and the rates being reduced in out-of-home care. We just had Children's Day. I don't know if you've seen my deadly daughter on those ads and those posters, just saying, which was a big thing. And we've also just released 2, what do you call them, resources. One's around, you know, activities to ground you, and the other one's around, you know, COVID for kids, some not activities, but ways to keep kids connected.
Oh, yeah, I saw those.
Yeah.
Come out yesterday. So.
Yeah. So the other thing that I've been doing, and I joined with, it's called the Yoga Impact Charity, is we did a meditation for them to start their yoga, and it's sort of, it's a connecting country meditation. It's only short. It's probably about 6 minutes. So then I just spoke to Mandy, so stay tuned. We're going to do one for each layer of country. So there'll be 6 more meditations and connecting to each layer of country. So that one's going to come out as well as I've got a paper being peer reviewed at the moment. So hopefully that gets published, and then that's a conceptual model about why culture's protective. So there'll be heaps of resources, and that'll be a bigger training package thing. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. So as you can see, everyone, like, she's not really up to much these days. You know, she's just chilling.
Just chilling with my heart.
Absolutely. Oh, it sounds amazing, you know, and I know if your heart and spirit is in those pieces of work, then, you know, they're gonna change. You know, they're gonna change things, which is exactly as it should be. You know, that's it. That's our little yarn, really. Just again, so much gratitude for your generosity, sister. Always, in terms of you know, bringing yourself and, you know, allowing not just us, but so many who you touch through all parts of your being benefit from. So we're really lucky that you chose us today.
I'll always choose you. I'll always choose you.
Thank you. We choose you too. And massive shout out to your Djirri Djirri family, Stacey, Mandy, you know, Dana.
Stacey's on there.
Yeah, Stacey, guys. Thanks so much for everything. We'll let you go. I know you need to hit up the line, but again, thank you so much for your time and wisdom and inspiration. And I'm sure there's going to be a few people jumping on some books. So maybe you can get some royalties out of some extra sales or something. We'll see if we can hook up.
Yeah. Can I just quickly before we go? There's a question there about people reaching out.
Tyson.
Shame and help and the trust, the service. Don't worry about the late question. I think if he wants to contact me via Facebook, I'm happy to have a bit of a combo around what that might look like because I know we're time limited.
Yeah, and
but happy.
Okay, great. I think that'll be a really good connection. Tice, I'll hook you both up through email and Facebook. I'll give you guys each other's Tice. Tice is part of a wonderful mob who's done quite a Ropu out in West Side Ways. He's done quite a lot of stuff with Jeremy. They're doing some really exciting collaborative stuff. Just like yourselves, from the external may look a bit more like a performing arts group, but you dive in and it's so much more. So I think that'll be a nice connection for you guys. Awesome, Tyson. Love to have you. Love having your energy and always making connections. So cool. Okay, sister. Thank you for everything. Thank you, people. We'll answer some of these questions as we go. On and
stay safe. Stay safe and stay home.
And get better.
Actually, there's a bit of a catch line that I really like, and I heard someone say it the other day. Stay physically apart but emotionally connected. So I really like that. And I think that's nice at this time.
Absolutely. Physically apart, emotionally connected. So awesome. Okay, good people. Take care and we'll see you next time.